And we're back with round 3. Hopefully this is a better match than the one we saw previously. Now we have all of our lands. We can cast an Essay Asp, and we have time to feed for if we get something earlier. We're on the draw. This is probably fine. It's not an exciting hand. It's probably not a... I pause as I see the mountain, immediately regretting keeping a hand with no action in the early game. I mean, we're not completely out of it. If he's playing a slower, more control-y deck, okay. Jeez, those words coming out of my mouth sure do feel terrible. So we're going to get beat down a bit here, and then we're going to play out the Nessian Asp on turn 5, probably, because we're just not, able to do anything early game here. No, I was wondering if you were stuck on land. He wasn't. Oh, good, and a Kragma Butcher without anything to block it. Lovely. So we're going to take a lot of damage over the next couple turns, but, that's the price you pay for keeping a really slow hand that runs the possibility of you just getting completely dead. I don't like the fact he has double Minotaur, because I'm assuming he's going to drop a Minotaur Lord at some point, and that's going to be really difficult for me to deal with. Mogus God of Slaughter, get out of here. No. Oh my god. That card. We really don't want to draw that, but it's a really good card. But we really need to draw action. I mean, I was like, he's running Minotaurs, and then he just slams this. Yeah. That's a good card. That is a really good card. It's a 7/5 when your devotion is high enough, which, it isn't yet, but if it did get going, that'd be insane. I'd be taking 2 damage a turn on top of what I'm already taking, and that starts the turn that I untap. Yeah, that would have been bad. So I'm taking 6 here, and the next turn I can play the Nessian Asp and start, slowing the bleeding, but I'm going to have to go like Nessian Asp into... Then the turn after that, I'm probably going to have to time to feed to kill something to gain some life back. Oh, don't... Stop with the curving out. So I could just be dead here. I mean, I'm going to run out the Asp. If he doesn't hit a land, then I'm fine because I can block the Butcher and then eat the Cyclops when I untap. The issue then becomes if he hits a land, I have to chump this, and I die, right? No, I go to 1, but at that point I'm just dead. So if he hits a land, then yeah, it's over. But yeah, this is a lesson for all you kids out there who think to themselves, I'm Mr. Cool Guy. Yeah, see, now we're dead. I'm going to make sure he sees it, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna. Yeah. And then we block. It looks like he was going to target the Kragma Butcher with a spell. But, okay, yeah, he saw it. Concede. Yeah, that was just one of those situations where the hand looked fine. It didn't. it didn't do what I needed it to. Jeez. I just need stuff that blocks, basically, at this point for this game. I'm beginning to regret not have... I need the counters. There's just so many things. So many things that I need in this deck. I think I'll bring in the Sudden Storm because it's a nice way of dealing with his creatures. And I don't want something like this in my hand because it doesn't do anything. It's literally just going to come down and... Look, it's this card. It's just going to come down and be like, oh, I draw a card and I get to fly now. I mean, if I'm going over the top and have like a bunch of blockers out, that's fine. It's good in parity situations against him. But I need stuff that's going to be able to do something when I'm behind. This will at least buy me some turns. Or it can be like a finisher or something like that. Sudden Storm, I think, is going to be better than Stratus Walk here. And I'll love to play first against that deck when it looks like that. I'm going to keep it because I can gain life off of the snake and stuff like that if I draw land. And I also can lead off with a Sedge Scorpion, which is always good because I can then, block whatever he plays and one for one myself. But against his deck, I think that's what I'm going to want anyways. And then if I can get up to top mana, I have Sea God's Revenge. But the dream is to draw an island in the first 2 turns and be able to dissolve whatever he plays. Like a Mogus. Because I really don't think I can beat that card. Alright. You here, buddy? Saw you mulliganed. So that's good. Aggressive decks tend to want to go off with a handful of stuff, but maybe his first hand was slow and his second hand is the nut hand. I mean, not going to really try to take anything from it. I'm just going to let him play a land past the turn. I'm going to run the island out in case I draw an island. I can do that. Doesn't really matter. I don't have anything that's like triple green in my hand or anything, so. 2 mana things with haste. Among those are a 1/1 that flies. So this isn't going to do anything about it. So I'm just going to attack, get a damage in, show him who's boss. I mean, if I saw this thing coming at me, super powerful planeswalker or not, I'd be a little frightened. Look at that thing. It just, ugh. Oh, man. That poor guy, he died to a scorpion after he slayed minotaurs and vanquished giants. Okay, I just want to throw it out there. The people who make the flavor text for cards at Wizards of the Coast, you guys don't get enough credit. I mean, yeah, somebody who said, oh, a 1/1 for 1 with Death Touch would be really good in this format. He's a good guy. Like, good for him. But the flavor text guys, they're pretty awesome too. He's passing? Oh, that is good that he doesn't have a 2-drop. Lovely, lovely. The exact best 2 cards I could have had in my hand. I'm just going to keep attacking. There is the 3 mana Minotaur with haste. So he could hit me for 4, but there's only 2 packs that he could open with that. And it looks like he's stuck on his land. Or this is it right now, and I'm going to be upset. Oh, no, that's fine. That is fine. Land. Perfect. I think I'm going to run out the Emissary because he hasn't hit his other land. Which means I don't think he's going to... I mean, if he plays Mogus, then I'm just going to be completely, bummed out. But I want to get the Emissary online and start bashing in. And hopefully he doesn't do anything next turn that's too crazy. Because then the turn after that I can start holding up this stuff and beating down with this. And at that point I don't really think he can come back. Alright, 4 mountains. So it's not a Mogus. Another Oread. Well, that's not good for me. It's not bad for me, but it's also not good for me because now I don't have any attacks. As I was saying, it's, it's the worst because I just don't have any attacks this turn. And what I'd really like to do is be able to turn this guy sideways. And now he blows me out with a combat trick. Nope. Wow, really? Just gonna let me draw a card? Sure. And it's a land? Beautiful. Alright, now he hits the swamp, he slams Mogus, and I get sad. No, it's a 5-drop? Nyxborn. Which one's this one? The +2/+1? Wow. Alright. It's a 4/3 with first strike. You could just bounce both of them, but then he can start Megatroning something up. Do I play out the snake, or do I just leave up the counter spells? If I play the snake, he's probably just going to let me gain 5 life. 4 life? 4 life. At that point, it just becomes a worse Bailoff, I think. But it's probably fine. And then if he plays like anything else, I can then just see God's Revenge and be very happy. Or do I just want to leave up counter spells? I'm gonna do this. And then just pass. I think this is the way to do it. That way I have a lot of pressure on the board, and I can see God's Revenge next turn and bounce his whole hand or bounce a bunch of stuff to his hand if he plays out another creature. And at that point, I can just get in for a ton of damage. All right. Are you going to pay the tribute, sir? You want me to go up to 24 life? Yeah, he's going to let me go up to 24 life. That's actually the right play. I mean, I'm a 7/7 right now would have just been insane against him. So he just has so much first strike damage sitting out. Like, I can't do anything about it. All right, a 5/2. That's perfectly acceptable. I think now is a good time to see God's Revenge, because he'll probably spend his whole turn playing out like one dude next turn. Yeah, because I don't think he can do two things next turn. And then I can get to attack with that stuff. And I also get to scry, which fixes my draws, and then I can also draw a card. This seems really good. Yeah, he agreed. All right, so he looked like he was a very aggressive deck in the first game. He continued to look like a very aggressive deck in the second game. So I think I'm probably just fine with what I have. I think I made the right call bringing in the Sudden Storm. If he has another explosive start, then I'm going to need it. I guess I could play like a Floodtide Serpent or something, but I think these guys are fine as just the way it is. Crypsis buys me a block, and if I have it on like a Sedge Scorpion, that's really good. Yeah, I think this is fine. I'm not playing aggressively, so I'm not going to be able to play the Warriors lesson well. The one thing I'm considering is cutting the Daxos and bringing in a Null, so I have just something else to deal with Mogus. And that'll also help me make sure I hit my land a little bit better. And then I can maybe cut I can probably cut the Unicorn at that point and bring in like a Chimera or something that blocks really well. And most of his stuff's probably going to be small anyways, so if he wants to block, he can. All right. Let's do that. Do I want Chimera? Yeah. It's the lowest mana cost thing that does stuff. I think I just add up one forest and an island. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. 8, 9 seems good because I got the double blues. And I definitely want to have like a Sedge Scorpion on curve if I can. Don't know why my mouse is being weird right now. So yeah. As much as I would like to play Daxos against his deck, I need to be attacking, and he has a lot of stuff that's going to have 2 power or less if he's the aggro deck. I'm going to keep. It's probably not right, but I can have Dissolve mana up when in time. Oh god. I thought I clicked the island, and then lag happened, and I didn't play the island. Good thing I didn't hit the F6 button. Destroy target artifact? Sure. You can play a Torch Fiend. I care not. Alright, island. And now I can go counterspell into a 3/3. And then if I keep drawing lands, I can then do it into a 4/4 that gains me life. Yeah, this is good. And then if I just curve out here, I mean, I'm super happy. I'll take 2 for a couple turns, but then I can play the Emissary and start blocking, which is fine. I think I just want to counter that. It's not like the flashiest counter, but I think I just want to keep him off his stuff at this time. Instead of taking 4 a turn for a couple turns, I'll just take the 2 a turn. And now he's probably super excited for his next sweet play next turn with his 4 mana. Little does he know, I have a Dissolve in hand. But, I mean, me not playing anything again this turn is probably a bit of a tip that I have it. I'd be surprised if he runs out something super powerful. Yeah, he's just not going to play anything right now. Artisan Sorrow does nothing against his deck, I don't think, so I probably should have cut it, but that's on me. Do I want to run out the Emissary, or would I rather hold up Dissolve in case he plays a Mogus? I mean, I just can't beat Mogus is the issue. But at the same time, if I just leave up Dissolve, I'm just going to keep taking 2. He also misses land drop because he was on the play this turn. Yeah. I'm just going to run this out because it blocks this, and he also didn't play anything. So I'm assuming he knew he wasn't going to hit his land drop and figured I can just wait a turn and maybe he'll play something and then I can run out my super sick 3 drop. Or he has that. Which is fine. I'm content with that. I can just play out the snake next turn and recoup a bunch of life that I lost. Yeah. And then it blocks that pretty well. And if he doesn't hit land again this turn, then I can just hold up Dissolve for the rest of the game and beat down with a 4/4 and win the game that way. I mean, I can even run out Voyaging Satyr next turn. And leave up Dissolve, and then even if maybe I can just be like, okay, you get some... What? He gave me a 7/7? I'm assuming he has just some kind of a straight kill spell here. Or he's going to attack and use... No? Show me what you have? Like, I don't know what he could have here. Again, this might just be one of those situations where he's just like, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. Necrobite? Ooh, and it's the fancy one. I'll just Dissolve it, put that on the bottom. Quick little 2-for-1. Again, it's not the best 2-for-1 situation because he is sitting on 5 cards in hand. But I can just keep tempoing him with like Sea God's Revenge, and if he plays an artifact, I can do a bunch of scry. Butcher's fine. My 7/7 will attack through it. And when it attacks, it'll also use that really cool thing where he... Oh, sweet, I can just run that out too as a blocker. Yeah. I mean, it's too bad that he got stuck on lands, but happens sometimes. And if I'm just gonna Abyss him, then I'm kind of happy about that. Just run out a guy. Would have liked to leave Artisan Sorrow mana up, but again, I'm not too worried about it. That is a target. I don't think it's worth the 2 scry, honestly. So I'm just going to attack with my team. And if he does try to go on a combat trick, I can just blow it up. I also don't need the extra mana, so I'm fine attacking with that. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, apparently my deck wasn't as good against aggressive stuff as I would have expected it to be, given the curve and the said Scorpion and all the ramp and then the really big stuff that I had. But it still was fine. Did good things. It won a very strange round 2, and it won round 3 because my opponent Even though my opponent played well, I think once my deck gets going, it's really hard to stop once it gets up to like 6 mana. The issue is I need to do stuff before 6 mana, because if I don't, then I can't deal with what he has going on, which is what we saw with the aggressive deck in the early round 1, and what we saw in the one game we lost here. It's just really hard to deal with that. So I'm probably going to look for stuff when I draft a deck in the future to deal with those decks, because they're just very difficult to deal with. It's just one of those things where I'm rambling. Point of the story is there were some very aggressive decks that got some really sweet new tools in the other packs. So I think the aggressive decks got more aggressive, and the control decks kind of stayed the same. They got some stuff that's very analogous. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.